So I've just done a couple of viewings, two properties. We've got one in South Harrow, one in Wembley, where we have 2 rooms that will be coming available. We still have a good 4 or 5 weeks until they come available. So we've started viewings. Christmas is always very quiet, so January is now starting to pick up. We always do a block viewing. So the first property we had 3 people turn up plus 1 virtual viewing, and then the Wembley property we've had 5 people turn up for that one. So some really good interest, and I like doing it that way because it creates a bit of a FOMO, and also it's very efficient from my point of view. Bearing in mind it's now almost 8 o'clock. I left home at 5 o'clock, so I've been on the road 3 hours doing viewings. And you know, people sometimes say to me, why don't you just farm that part out to one of your staff? Because we have a small team. But the reality is actually the tenant find process is the single most important part of the whole tenant cycle. Because if you find the right tenant from day one, then you don't have the ongoing issues and problems that sometimes you can have if you're not so careful in terms of filtering. So I'm going to put a light on because it's a bit dark in here. That didn't work. Okay, so yeah, that's why I do that. So interesting group of people we've met today. So I'm always looking for, and the reason why I do the viewings myself is because I'm looking for clues, I'm looking for red flags, potential problems that might come up if they choose to stay in the property, and also to set expectations and standards about what we expect of tenants, because we have expectations for sure around our tenants, and we are very clear on what those are, and it's important for me to impart them on tenants or prospective tenants so that they can come into the property with their eyes open. A massive part of what we talk about is the house harmony charter and making sure people are on board in terms of how we expect them to live in our properties if they choose to live with us, or not with us because I don't live there, but if they choose to live with those properties. But also it gives me an opportunity to sort of view people, view the dynamics, bearing in mind the dynamics of the existing house and how they may fit in, and any potential conflict. So my quick summary of the people that I met today for the South Harrow property. Yeah, I think out of the four that I've met, 4 that I met, I think there would be 3 that would be very good. My initial impact, initial impression. There's a red flag around one of them, but I'm not sure what it is. But there is something that doesn't feel quite right. So I always listen to my gut on that. So I might not necessarily, if they are interested, that is, I may not necessarily encourage the landlord to consider that one. I've got to be important, I've got to be impartial, and I've got to share the offers made. However, I do have an opinion, and I should voice my opinion in the interest of making sure we maintain harmony in these HMOs, because it's so important. On the Wembley property, I've got red flags on potentially 1, 2 people there, just around lack of experience of living in shared houses, just a little bit around them as people. I just didn't like, and I probably can't go into too much in the video, but I didn't feel that comfortable in their company. Kind of gave me that a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling. And again, I listen to my gut an awful lot when I select tenants. It's a massive part of the screening process. But we got definitely 1, 2, 3 that I would be very interested in if they were to show interest. So that's our process. We will then, if we get interest, we will collect information, make sure we understand enough about them, and then we present to the landlord with a view to trying to select somebody. All right, hope that's helpful.